Happy morning, children. Once again, I welcome you all for this online class. And today we are continuing with our lesson 1 of geography. And the title of our lesson is Asia and Europe. And in the last class, we studied about the introductory part of uh, Asia and Europe. In the Zoom class, we studied about the introduction. Now, let's move on to the next important topic in this lesson, that is the physiographic divisions of Asia. So, what is the meaning of this word physiography? Physiography means the physical features of land system in a country. Okay, the physical features, that is the land system, the appearance of the lands. Okay, today we are going to study about the physiographical divisions of Asia. Okay, so the whole continent of Asia, the land system is divided into 5 important parts, and they are the northern lowlands, the central high mountains, the southern plateaus, the great plains, and finally the fifth one is island groups. So, children, before moving on to our next section, I request each and every one of you to open your textbook, and more specifically page number 146 of your textbook, so that when you have your textbook and look at the map, you can understand the lessons very clearly. Okay, so I hope you all could have opened page 146. So in this page, the land portions, the physiographical divisions are clearly shaded by different colors. Okay, so let's move on to the first land system, that is the northern lowlands. So the name itself gives us some information. What is that? This type of land system, they are located in the northern part of Asia. Okay, northern part of Asia. Lowlands. Lowland means opposite to highland, that is opposite to mountains. Okay, so these lands are lower level lands. Okay, low surfaced lands. Okay, in Tamil we call them thal nilangal. Okay, so these lowlands are located in the northern parts of Asia, and more specifically it is located in Russia. Okay, Russia, in today's Russia. So the most extensive lowland in Asia is the Siberian plain. Okay, plain. What is plain? I told you in the last class, isn't it? It is a flat surface of land with no trees and high high level plants. It is a only flat surface, and it extends from Ural Mountains in the west to Verkhovsk Range in the east. So these two places, Ural Mountains and Verkhovsk Range in the east, these two places are located in Russia only. The Ural Mountains are located at the northwestern part of Russia, and the Verkhovsk range is located in the northeastern part of Russia. When you look at the map, in page number 146, can you see the light brown color, right? Light brown color shade. So that is the portion which is noting the northern lowlands. Okay, now let's move on to the next system of physiographical division in Asia, that is the central highlands. So the name itself gives us information. Highlands, that is they are high mountains. Okay, they are the high mountains, and moreover majority of Asia are the highlands only. Okay. Again, you will go back to the map. Look at the orange shade. So all these shades, they are high mountains of Asia. So they all come under the central highland. So this central highland, they stretches from Turkey in the east to Bering Strait. So from Turkey up to Bering Strait, these high mountain ranges are found. Okay, and there are two knots found in Asia. Knots means what? Place. It is a top of mountain from where different mountains meet together. So different mountain range, when they meet at a point, that point is called a knot. Okay, so from that knot, mountain ranges, they move away. So there are two important ranges, knots in Asia. One is the Pamir knot, and another one is the Armenian knot. Okay, so from knot only, different mountains, they separate and move away. The Hindu Kush range, the Suleiman range, and the Himalayan range and Tian Shan range radiate from the Pamir knot. So I already told you what is a knot. Knot is a place where different mountains meet together. So from that knot only, they move away. So what are the mountain ranges? Range you all know, isn't it? What is a range? It is a continuous mountain. You know the difference between a single mountain and continuous mount, isn't it? When you go to Tamil Nadu, south part of Tamil Nadu, when you look at the Western Ghats, they are not single mountain, isn't it? They are mountain ranges. Ranges mean mountain which moves on continuously for a many number of kilometers. They are called ranges. Okay, so in the Pamir knot, okay, nearly four mountains ranges are uh, met together. Okay, they are the Hindu Kush range, Suleiman range, and our Indian Himalayan range and Tian Shan range. So all these range radiate. Radiate means they originate. They start their beginning point from the Pamir knot. Okay, and the Himalayan mountain range is the highest mountain range in the world. We all know, isn't it? Mount Everest is the highest peak in Asia. The highest point of mountain is Mount Everest, which is located in Asia. That is 8,848 meters. Intermountain plateaus are found in these mountain ranges. Intermountain plateaus means the plateaus which are found in between these mountain ranges, they are called intermountain plateaus. Plateaus found between the mountain ranges are called intermountain plateaus. So the important plateaus found in the intermountain plateaus of Asia are the plateau of Anatolia, that is, it is found between the mountain ranges of Pontine to Taurus, and the plateau of Iran, which is in between Elbrus to Zagros Mount, the plateau of Tibet, Kunlun to Himalayas. Okay, these are some of the informations about the central highlands. And the third system of physiographical land part of Asia is the southern plateaus. Again, look at the map. Can you see uh, light green color shade in the portions of India, China, and Arabia? Can you see that light green color shade? So that light green color shade is the southern plateaus. Plateau means what? Plateau means it is a flat surface in top of a mountain is called plateau. Any flat surface, any flat land portion on top of a mount is called plateaus. So whenever you think about a plateau, think about a table. Okay, plateau is like a table. So how a table is identified? You, it is, the table is somewhat higher than the ground, isn't it? So on top of the table you see a flat surface. In the same manner, plateaus are also like that only. They are higher than the ground, but the top of the plateaus will be flat like table. Understood? So the southern plateaus are relatively lower than the northern plateaus. So northern plateaus in the northern part of Asia, they are more higher, in the higher uh, higher range. Okay, but the southern plateaus are not so high like north, but they are in the low level. So the four important southern plateaus are Arabian Plateau in the Saudi Arabia, Deccan Plateau in India, Shan Plateau in Myanmar, and the Yunnan Plateau in China. Among these four plateaus, Arabian Plateau is the largest plateau in Asia. So these are the some of the informations about the southern plateau. Now let's move on to the fourth physiographical system in Asia, that is the Great Plains. So what are plains? Plains are the flat surfaces of land with no tall trees and plants. Okay, so uh, the Great Plains are formed by major rivers of Asia. So the plains are located near the major rivers in Asia. They are West Siberian Plain. It is located near the Ob and Yenisei River. Then Manchurian Plain, which is located near Amur. And Great Plain of China, which is located near Yangtze and Sikiang River. And Indo-Gangetic Plain, which is located between Indus and Ganges River. And Mesopotamian Plain, which is located between Tigris and Euphrates River. And Airavati Plain, which is located near the river Airavati. So these are some of the great plains located in our Asian continent. Okay. Then the final group of land system in Asia is the island groups. You all know what is an island, isn't it? What is island? A land surface which is surrounded by water on all sides are called islands. In Tamil we call them Teevugal. So numerous islands are found in the Pacific coast of Southeast India. Okay, in the Pacific region of Southeast India, you can see a lot of huge number of islands. Okay, Kuril, Taiwan, Singapore, and Borneo are some of the important island group of islands located in the southeastern Asia in the Pacific coast. The Philippines, Japan, and Indonesia are major archipelagos in Asia. Archipelagos means it is a group of islands, not one single island. Group of islands nearby, located nearby, group next to next. They are called archipelagos. So Philippines, Japan, and Indonesia, they are not a single island. They are group of islands. So smaller archipelagos are located in the Indian Ocean. They are islands of Maldives and Lakshadweep in Arabia. So these islands of Maldives and Lakshadweep are small islands. Philippines, Japan and all somewhat larger islands. Okay. And Bahrain is located in the Persian Gulf. And finally, Sri Lanka is an island which is located in the Sea of Bay of Bengal. So these are the physiographical divisions of um, Asia. They are 5 in number. Okay. Now let's shift into the new topic, which is the drainage system of Asia. So what is mean by drainage? So the water, river water, where they end up, where they drain into, where they finally end up is called a drainage. Okay, so the rivers of Asia, they basically originate on the central highlands. We studied about the central highlands, isn't it? The second system of physiography in Asia, the orange color shades in the Asia map. So most of the rivers are start from the central highlands. Okay, so some of the rivers were the river Ob, Ennis, and Lena are some of the rivers that flow towards the north and they drain into Arctic Ocean. Now we will move on to the map in page number 147. In page 147, you could see Asia physical map, isn't it? In that map, you can identify the rivers which is located in the northern side of West Siberian plains. You can see river Ob, river Ennis and Lena. These are the three rivers which uh, they move towards north and they end up into the Arctic Ocean. So these rivers are frozen during winter. So these rivers become ice during the winter time. Okay. Then when you come to the South Asia, there are many perennial rivers. Perennial rivers means the rivers that never dry throughout the year. They always flow. They have more water. So in South Asia includes India, uh, India, then Arabia, China. These are Southeast Asian countries. Okay. So some of the rivers were Brahmaputra, Indus, Ganges, and Airavati. So these important perennial rivers, they originate from the high mountains of Himalayas. They start from Himalayas and they move towards south and they drain into the uh, Bay of Bengal Sea. Okay. Mm, Then when you move towards the west, when you move to the western part of Asia, you could see Euphrates and Tigris river which flow into the western part of Asia. Look at the left extreme part of the map. You could see the two rivers, Tigris and Euphrates. They drain into the Mediterranean Sea. Okay. Then the Amur, Huanghe, Yangtze, and Mekong rivers flow in the south and southeastern part of Asia. This is located in the right side. Okay, in China, these rivers are located in the China. So these rivers drain into the southeastern part of Asia. And finally, river Yangtze is the longest river in Asia, which is located in China. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic, climate of Asia, climatic conditions of Asia. So Asia has a variety of climate. Since Asia is the largest continent in the whole world, it experiences a variety of climate. Different types of climate are found in India. Okay, so the northern part of Asia is always a cold region. See, because of it is near to the pole, it is near to the North Pole. Always the northern part of Asia is very cold and it has a long winter and cool summer. And the temperature may be from minus 37 degree to 10 degree. During winter, the temperature goes up to minus 37 degree, which is very much freezing cold. In minus 37 degree, you can froze any liquid items within a fraction of second. And even the summer, the temperature do not exceed more than 10 degree. So 10 degree is even colder. So the even the hot summer, the highest hot season degree temperature will be only 10 degree, which is cold only. Okay, in Chennai we have 30 to 40 degree centigrade, and precipitation is in the form of snow. So the rain will be in the northern part of Asia, always the rain will be in the form of snow. Okay, and the volume of snow is about 250 to 300 millimeter. So now let's move on to the northeastern part of Asia. So the northeastern part of Asia also experiences cold winter and warm summer, and it has moderate rainfall. Moderate means medium level of rainfall, not too high rain, not too low rain, medium level of rainfall. So the average rainfall will be from 50 millimeter to 250 millimeter. Now let's move on to the south. The south and southeast and eastern parts of Asia are strongly influenced by monsoon winds. Monsoon winds are the rainy winds, rain winds. Okay, so summer will be very hot and humid. Humid means um, in Tamil we call Irapadam. Okay, and while winter is cool and dry winter, the summer monsoon winds bring heavy rainfall to India, Bangladesh, Indochina, Philippines, and southern China. And in India, Ram, which is a place located in Sikkim, it receives the highest rainfall of about 11,871 millimeter per year. So this place is called the wettest place in the whole world. So the areas found in and around the equator, the places which is found in and around equator, they have uniform climate. The climate always throughout the year, they never change. There is no winter for them, and the temperature is always around 27 degree, not too hot, not too cold. Okay, the climate will be moderate, and the rainfall is around 1270 millimeter per year. And the western and central part of Asia, they have hot and dry climate. West and central part, that is the Arabian countries. Okay, here the temperature will be very high during day, and it will be very cold during night, and there will be very less rainfall. In the western and central part of Asia, the rainfall is very low only, from 22 to 200 only. And the west coastal fringe of Asia, fringe means the end corner, the coastal region of Asia near Mediterranean Sea, they receive rainfall during winter also, and it is warm during summer. And deserts are found along the western part of Asia. The western part of Asia is the Arabian Peninsula. Okay, they have large hot deserts, and Thar Desert, which is between India and Pakistan, they are also long deserts. Cold deserts of Asia are Gobi and Taklamakan. These are the cold deserts, and the largest deserts in Asia is the Arabian Desert. The Arabian Desert is the largest desert in the whole world. So children, with this let's end our lesson. The remaining portions we will study in the next class. We will meet in the next class. See you. Bye.